Hey guys, so wow, man, I've spent the last hour trying to get my car started. I it's not starting. All the lights on my everything else works. It's annoying to me because everything else works, but this car is not turning over. It's not cranking. It's not cranking at all. And it sucks because I had to be somewhere, and now I'm dealing with this situation where I am waiting for a tow truck to tow my car. And I'm gonna wait another hour and a half for a tow truck to tow my car. Not the best of situations. But at this point, what I know so far about the situation is I know that it is not the alternator. There were a couple of tests that I did as far as figuring out that it's not the alternator. Here's the situation of alternators. Here's the situation of alternators. As far as alternators is concerned, most of the time, alternators, cars that die on you, as far as the alternator is concerned, they'll die on the road. I mean, if you have issues with alternators, having issues as far as it not charging, not working correctly, the alternator will die on the road. It'll die on the street. All right, it'll die while you're driving. It'll die while your car is on. Die while your car is on. Okay, that's not the situation here. My car was sitting for at least 2 hours, and I came back, tried to turn it on. All I hear is normal beeps and a click. Normal beeps and a click. So normally if you hear like normal, that situation. All right. So here's how I actually, I had somebody put cables, try to help me out, and try to jump my car because I thought it was the battery that was the issue. Try to jump it, wasn't the battery, considering he had on there for like a good 5 minutes before I had a good there for a couple minutes. I tried to crank it up. Nothing. I had it on for 5 minutes. We had it on for 5 minutes, trying to crank it. Nothing. Same situation. All the lights work. Everything works, but the car won't crank. So at that point, I know it's not the alternator because, if you guys ever had alternator issues and you guys had to test the alternator out, if it's a dead battery, you guys put cables to the battery, the alternator, your car should turn on if everything is good. Car should turn on, the alternator should be working, if it was the alternator, once you take the cables off, the car would die out. So it wasn't the alternator, it wasn't the battery, because if it was the battery, the car would have turned on. It didn't turn on, and I knew it wasn't the battery because first thing I did was I thought maybe it was a bad battery. I replaced the battery about a year ago, but batteries do go out every so often. Went out, checked the lights on my car, and the lights were bright, and all the electronic work in my car, except for the fact it won't crank over. So what's left? I was thinking maybe it'll be a relay. Could be a relay, but the fact that I hear a click every time I turn on after all the beeps, I'm pretty sure at that point that there's electricity going through the relay to the starter, except that the motor is not running, but the solenoid will click. So the other thing that could be was, I was thinking maybe it was a dead fuse or something, a blown fuse, because I was charging up. I was using the 12 volt a lot, charging up my phone, my tablet, and but here's my situation. Here's the situations that I've encountered with fuses. The situations that I've encountered with fuses is like this. So I've had two kinds of situations with blown fuses as far as it affects my car not starting. So one situation is a main fuse that's blown. If there's a main fuse that's blown, what happens is you'd be getting like no power to the car. Like you'd be hearing no clicks whatsoever. There'd be no lights. There'd be nothing. Your blow motor wouldn't work. The battery won't work. You won't even get time on nothing will work. That was like one fuse situation. The other fuse situation is it'll crank. It'll crank, but it won't turn over. That's the other. But neither of those situations fit this situation. So basically, I'm thinking at this point, like I'm 99% sure it's the starter. And right now, I'm just waiting out for AAA to come pick my car up so that I could get that starter replaced. All right, guys. So I did get the starter replaced. It was definitely the starter. I really didn't do any more tests after I got towed, after the car got towed, and got the starter replaced. Was pretty settled on the fact that it was a starter. 99% sure there was a starter. And once the starter was popped in and everything was hooked up, car started right up. Everything works. So that it was a starter that was causing my car not to start. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe already. And also, please leave a comment. Guys. All right, take care.